Harry made a comment in one of my last videos and requested that I make a video about Precigen just to update post earnings. And so following posting their earnings, the Precigen share price did actually decline. And you can see at points of around, 1.67 to 1.61. And so this was attributed to some of the financials that I think they disclosed at the time. PGEN's net loss was 126.2 million compared to a net loss of 95.9 million in the year end of December 31, 2023. Operating loss also widened to 135 million versus 99.8 million, showing higher spending with no revenue growth to offset that as well. Total revenue dropped to 3.9 million from 6.2 million. And so it's quite likely that on the posting of these kind of financials, the share price did decline. Shareholders maybe were a little bit pessimistic on those financial results, but for me this was kind of very predictable. This is still a company in development. They don't have any commercial products yet available on the market. This is obviously about to change, hopefully in and around August time, what with this kind of major catalyst around the treatment PGEN 2012. And so I took this as an opportunity. I already hold around 17,000 PGEN shares in an interactive broker's account, but I also recently just opened a trading 212 account and started cost averaging and buying more shares in PGEN, simply because I can't, from my personal opinion, from all of the examination that I've done on different companies, I can't really see a better opportunity out there at the moment. And again, like I said, I'll delve into a bit more details and I'll give you kind of a behind the scenes look at my trading 212 account as well. Precigen achieved several milestones on their path to potentially bring their PGEN 2012 treatment to these RRP patients. PGEN 2012 is this top treatment that you can see in their pipeline right here. And you can see here that the BLA, the Biologics License Application, for PGEN 2012 actually received priority review from the FDA, and the FDA have set a date of in and around August where they expect that they will have an announcement as to whether the treatment PGEN 2012 will either be approved by the FDA or rejected by the FDA. In which case, if it is rejected, typically what will happen is that they will provide feedback to PGEN as to why it was rejected, and then PGEN will go away and they'll have an opportunity, depending on the severity of the rejection or the reasons why, to kind of make certain adjustments to their application before resubmitting it at a later date. So even if it is rejected, it's not necessarily a critical moment where people should kind of go crazy and lose faith in the stock, right? You can see right here it states that Precigen will become one step closer to launching their first and only FDA treatment. And this is what makes this catalyst so significant. It transitions Precigen from a company in development, exploring potential treatments so they can go to market and sell, to actually having a tangible product that they can go to market with customers or with patients, if you like. FDA approval for PGEN 2012 have fundamentally changed Precigen, enabling the transition from clinical to commercial stage with the real and imminent potential to begin realizing product sales this year and providing financial tailwinds to enable potential expansion of PGEN 2012 to new indications and geographical markets. So again, this kind of just highlights the catalyst that we're facing. If you are holding shares in Precigen, which is they have their first viable product, they have an opportunity to kind of penetrate the US market first of all. But I think one of the next steps will be looking into which other markets they can go into. Will they be going into Europe, for example, which seems kind of quite an obvious move to me, if you like. And again, this will open up their product to a wider marketplace, which in turn over time will help them to generate more revenue into the company and effectively pivot from being this clinical stage pharmaceutical company that is developing treatments to one that has this commercial product that is being sold. PGEN are keen to rapidly capitalize on the immense demand from patients and treating physicians for this new treatment that may finally address the underlying cause of the disease, RRP in this case. And so with this catalyst in mind, I was kind of reflecting on the market and just thinking about all of the potential opportunities out there. And to me, this seems like the most obvious one, a very clear catalyst coming in August, which will potentially be a critical transition for this company. And so I opened up a trading 212 account, even at the price of like 1.6 to 1.4. I just started cost averaging into this account every month, depositing an amount of money, not really trying to beat the market. I have kind of tried to do that in the past and it has worked. And again, I can delve into the strategies of that in future videos. But for me right now, I was kind of just thinking about, this critical date in August coming up, and there still being this opportunity with predictions from analysts for this stock to be around $6 or $7 by end of 2025 to 2026. And so you can see precigen, PGEN in my stocks and shares ISA on Trading 212. You can see right here I have 1,331 shares. And what I've been doing, you can see also that the average price, now the average price of 1.51 is because I've been making deposits in this stock, since the posting of those financials which caused that price decline, and I have a mean average of 1.5. I was buying the stock at 1.6, and I was buying the stock most recently when it was hitting, I think off the top of my head, 1.3, just after the time that Trump announced those tariffs, which kind of had a bit of a ripple effect across all of the market. And I saw that as an opportunity to go in at what I consider to be a very, very good price, considering the catalyst coming up, considering the fact that analysts have set these kind of price predictions as well of around $6 or $7. And again, the great thing with this cost averaging strategy, if you like, is if the price is lower than my average price, my average price is 1.51. So anything below 1.51 is a potential opportunity for me to make an entry and in turn decrease my average price even more. And there's a lot to be optimistic about with this company, Precigen, because they do actually have another treatment in their pipeline, PRGN 3006, which has been granted orphan drug designation. And so orphan drug designation is a special status that the FDA use in order to identify or label very specific treatments that are in development that are set to address or treat very rare medical conditions in the market. And so again, this is very important in the sense of understanding, from a product sense and from a commercial sense, that with this process in mind, PGEN, not only with PRGN 2012, but also with PRGN 306, is that they're developing a unique service proposition from a commercial standpoint. They are developing products that no other pharmaceutical company actually offer on the market, which is where their competitive advantage comes in the market as well from a commercial standpoint. You can see here PRGN 3006 is this treatment right here, and it still needs to get through phase 2, which may take some time. But one of the critical things with this is that the FDA have actually granted this with this orphan drug designation, which gives it this special status, which could also in turn, because it is addressing a very rare condition that no other treatment currently does on the market, it could also qualify for this accelerated pathway, like with PRGN 2012, which meant that it didn't necessarily have to jump through the hoops of a phase 3, and that they could submit, if the data is compelling enough from phase 2, they could submit their BLA then, and it could get fast-tracked by the FDA as well. And again, this is another potential catalyst coming up. Difficult to predict when or where, but it's just one of these things to bear in mind. And so, like I said, there's lots to be optimistic about with this stock. There's this critical catalyst coming up in August. There are more developments in the pipeline as well with the company too. And I will keep you updated, not only on this channel, but also on Twitter. I'll post on Twitter when I do actually exit PGEN as well, simply because it's a lot easier to do that on Twitter rather than kind of film and edit a video and then post it onto YouTube. So I'll do that. And if you'd like to follow me there to just keep an eye on some of the other stocks that I focus on as well, I do just post occasionally, but you can go and follow me on Twitter or X there. But thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.